As I usually do, I would like to open this stream with a prayer. And so let's go ahead and start with the prayer. Dear God, I ask you to lead, guide, and direct me. I'm always doing my best to just open myself to you and allow you to just work through me. Just tell me what to do. As I've done so many times, I just ask because sometimes I can be a little thick. And I just ask that if you send me a sign that maybe you tag on there somehow, it's blunt enough to smack me in the face so I don't miss it. That's my only request. I ask for your forgiveness for all my sins. I'm certainly not a perfect person. Try to do my best. Please forgive all of my sins, Lord. And also, I'd like to say that there are people that sometimes wrong me, and I would like to emphasize that I love them and I forgive them, which is oftentimes a very difficult thing to do, but it's something that I do wish to do. I wish to forgive all of my enemies, and I hope that their souls find you. I won't mention it here, but there's one in particular that you know exactly who it is. I hope that person finds you and just gets on a better path than they're on, one that is more divine and less low vibration and rooted in stuff that leads to evil. Furthermore, Lord, I would like to ask, or not ask, but just pray for all the souls that are dying around the world and all the many more that may be dying, which is what we're going to get to in the stream. As it looks like some major wars are about to get started. And so I ask, maybe there's a path to not have all these wars, or maybe it's the inevitable. Maybe everything needs to be reborn and recast in a new image, and the so-called apocalypse is coming. Whatever it is, Lord, I just ask that everybody gets on the best path possible, with you as their guiding star, their guiding light, to make it through the darkness, because there's a lot around us now, and there's probably a lot more coming. And that's it. I open myself, ask you to lead, guide, and direct me. And if you send me a sign, please make it blunt enough to smack me right on the head so I don't miss it. That's the only thing I ask. And that's all I can think of. Thank you, Lord. Amen. All right, so let's get this started. So here we go. So I titled this stream, Raise Your Hand If You Know World War III has already started. And actually, a lot of the mainline analysts consider the Cold War to be World War III, and they actually say that the one that has already started again, the next one is World War IV. And so it's actually, to be technically correct, probably that World War IV has already started. But here we go. Russia could attack NATO within 5 years, says Alliance Chief in stark new warning. Of course, translation, you got to remember with these people, everything's inverted. Whatever they say is what they're actually, whatever they accuse the other side of is what they're doing. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. You just invert it. And so what it means is we're attacking Russia within 5 years. The fact of the matter is a lot of these places in Europe, particularly Germany and the UK, which are kind of leading the charge, their economies have flatlined. They're awful. They think that a wartime economy is the only thing that can save them. So again, just invert everything. Translation, NATO will be attacking Russia within the next 5 years, or sooner, some people. So Russia could attack. Okay, so again, invert it. NATO will be attacking, you know what I mean? Okay, invert it. Russia could attack a NATO country within the next 5 years, the Western Military Alliance's chief has said in a stark new warning. Russia, NATO, Europe is already escalating its covert campaign against their societies, Russia, through Ukraine, of course. Mark Rutte said in a speech in Germany, "We must be prepared for a scale of war our grandparents and great-grandparents endured." Now, that part's true. Be prepared for the type of war their grandparents and great-grandparents endured. He's not lying there. You don't have to invert that one. He's just not saying that they're going for it. NATO's the one going for it. They're trying to get World War III going. So he echoed similar statements about NATO's intentions. Rutte's warning comes as U.S. President Donald Trump tries to bring an end to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, which of course they're going to prevent. They're just pretending they're trying to do that. So let's move on to this one here. Does Europe want to go to war? Okay, so let's have a look here. Yeah, like I said with the previous article, invert it. Okay, they're saying Russia's attacking us. Invert it. We're attacking Russia. It literally is just that simple. Everything is just a battle of good versus evil. And when you're watching these people who are going, they're coming to get us. They're trying to hurt us. It means we're going to get them. Just invert it. They're the ones who are evil. Okay, so after Donald Trump's remarks on Europe, and even earlier after J.D. Vance's speech in the security conference in Munich, the question now haunts public debate. Do our leaders truly believe war is coming, or are we witnessing political maneuvers from a lack of real means? Between alarmist rhetoric, talk of a state of emergency, rumors surrounding Article 16 in France, and a growing number of pre-war signals, the continental climate is becoming increasingly electrified. At a moment when the so-called coalition of the willing, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, is stepping up meetings with the Ukrainian president, when the French chief of staff speaks of sacrificing our children, when survival kits are being distributed, and when the French president refers to a wartime situation, the European Commission, by the way, it's already started. It's pretty much confirmed that there are already NATO troops on the ground in Ukraine. Like right now, what they're doing is they're going, "Oh, it's coming. They're trying to start it." It's begun. This isn't this around the corner thing that could somehow be prevented. It's already begun happening. That's the other thing they're kind of covering up here with the inversion. So sacrificing our children, when survival kits are being distributed, when the French president, a wartime situation, the European Commission has suddenly adopted the same register. Mouthpiece or unwitting relay. The movement appears above all to be aligning itself with the coalition line. The continuation of the war is the only possible path. Bypassing the European framework to save Ukraine as Ukraine flirts with bankruptcy. Okay, we have to save them, so I'm going to skip down here. They're turning Ukraine into an existential issue, of course. Locking in sanctions, forcing Euroclear to transfer Russian funds, qualified majority funding, the end of the veto. EU commits to an explicit strategy of weakening Russia, which means they're trying to go to war with Russia, of course. Exporting Russia's dependence on China. Let's see here. Mediterranean, Africa, Balkans, the fronts, right? Which means we're starting the war with Russia. These are the new fronts we're going to create. Divergence with the U.S. 28-point plan, right? So I'll just read this. While Washington negotiates a ceasefire with Russia, the EU, particularly Berlin, Paris, and London, is attempting to amend this plan. 2 points generate tensions. Use of frozen Russian assets. Washington intends them for reconstruction. The EU wants to finance weapons. Size of the Ukrainian army. The United States favors a smaller force. The EU wants to keep it large to sustain its defense industry. Behind aid to Ukraine looms the defense of European strategic and industrial interests. A failure of negotiations would prolong the conflict, and the coalition of the willing appears to be preparing for exactly that. Germany normalizing a state of pre-war. The German debate over declaring a state of tension, one notch below a formal state of defense, has taken on a dramatic tone. Article 80A of the Basic Law would allow the activation of a wide array of national mobilization measures. And an opinion shaped since 2024, it's longer than that, Powers triggered by the state of tension, right? So it gives them all kinds of powers. Domestic deployment of Bundeswehr to protect infrastructure, requisition laws, conscription. Yeah. Oh, by the way, there's probably going to be a flood of mass immigration out of Europe. I would imagine, especially of parents, families that want to protect the ones who are vulnerable to conscription and stuff like that. So I imagine there's mass flood of escape immigration leaving Europe on the way. The same thing happened. I'm not in the United States. I'm in Thailand, and when I was literally here watching it happen when the Russia-Ukraine war kicked off. Massive numbers of people flooded in from both Russia and Ukraine, and suddenly Thailand was just full of Russians and Ukrainians, and like it brought in this whole host of like other problems that Thailand wasn't used to. Like it's not used to a bunch of drunks, but it wasn't used to a bunch of Russian drunks that do it Russian style. So like all this stuff happened. It was crazy. I mean, it still is, but it's not peak anymore like it was. A society already integrated into wartime logic. European economy drifting toward a war model. The German Hospital Federation has published a study listing the investments required to make medical infrastructure fit for a major conflict. They're doing it. It's all this means like oh, they're not just kind of like, you know, gearing up in case it happens. No, they're doing it. These countries, they need wartime economies that they think will save the flailing economies that they have now. They say in reality, what happens with wartime economies is a few people do really, really well, but most of the rest of the economy and all kinds of stuff all gets destroyed. But the ones who are tied to like weapon sales and stuff like that, they all become like filthy rich, but it's not a large number of people. That's what happens. So yeah, satellite communications, underground facilities, you know, all this kind of stuff. And so it just kind of goes on a little bit like that. So moving on to the next one here, I came across this today, and just hear me out for a second. For a second, you may think, well, this has nothing to do with me, okay? But just let me get to it, and you'll see that it kind of does. So UNESCO recognizes Tak, Rayong, and Satun as learning cities. For anyone who doesn't know, these are cities in Thailand. And so this came across my radar today because I'm here and I check news for Thailand. Okay, so just let me get into this, and you'll see why I'm giving Thai news for the overall thing. And what the reason is that what piqued my interest is I said, I didn't know this. I said, what's a UNESCO learning city? Learning what? What do you mean? So let's get into this one a little bit here. Thailand has gained 3 new UNESCO recognized learning cities following the organization's approval of Tak Municipality, Rayong Province, and Satun Province as members of the UNESCO Global Network of Learning Cities. The announcement made on 4th December 2025 was confirmed by Dr. Minister of Education, December 2025. The move sparks a significant step in Thailand's progress towards strengthening lifelong learning and expanding educational access of all age groups. Sounds great, right? Learning and education. You know, think of the family. You have to take the Patriot Act. You have to accept the Patriot Act. Think of the family. Think of the children, right? Think of the children. That's the line. So I was asking this today to Braves AI. I think they call it Leo because the lion there, Leo. Anyway, so I said, what is a UNESCO learning city? A UNESCO learning city is a city that effectively mobilizes its resources across all sectors to promote inclusive learning from basic to higher education, revitalizes learning within families and communities, facilitates learning in the workplace, extends the use of modern learning technologies, enhances the quality and excellence of learning. Okay, this is all just blah 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 words like enhances learning. Well, what does that mean? What are you enhancing, right? And the quality of excellence of learning. Excellence in what way? and fosters a culture of learning throughout life. All just giggly, giggly, blah, blah, blah. Like just word salad. So this concept aims to enhance individual empowerment, social here, now we're getting to something. Individual empowerment. Where have we seen this? Social inclusion, economic development, cultural prosperity, sustainable development. Do those two words ring a bell? Sustainable development goals? Make it 3 words. The UNESCO Global Network of Learning Cities is an international policy-oriented network that supports the achievement of the sustainable development goals. Right. So particularly SDG 4, inclusive and equitable. SDG 4, what's that? So let's have a look here. So here is SDG Move. Goal 4, quality education. Ensure inclusive and appropriate quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So skip down here and ensuring that all boys and girls complete quality. Yeah, so some of it sounds like, oh, but it's just about going to school. It has young people and adults with necessary relevant skills. It's like, oh, go get them educated. Yeah, think of the children. That's good, right? Eliminate gender inequality. Now, what have we seen this tied to? What is the baggage that comes with this kind of language, right? And then, what do we have here? Ensure that all young people and a high proportion of adults, both men and women, can literacy, readable, and just more word salad. Okay, but that, so that's 11. Let me just this click so I can get it in a tab. So what is the literacy word salad thing? So literacy and numeracy. This needs to change to English. Come on, change over to English. There it is. Okay, literacy and blah, 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 blah. According to the meaning of SDGs, it is viewed from a perspective, lifelong learning. Everyone needs to continuously develop. Yes, never stop developing. Doesn't it kind of sound like never stop doing what we tell you? You never stop developing. Yeah, developing the way we want you to develop. It is not an activity that will have to does this sound like free choice? Like you come up with an idea and you go, no, there's something I want to do. Does it sound like that? I don't think it does. It is not an activity that will have time to specify when it must be completed. To have a variety of knowledge, skills, and abilities. Continuing skills and abilities in many ways, dimensions of the field of knowledge, and knowledge that appear in various places. If you look at the exact meaning, literacy skills refers to a set of knowledge and skills. The breakdown comes down to literacy skill, more word salad, just absolute word salad. Literacy skills, okay, with the word calculation skills, word salad, or basic calculation skills. You know this is all about control when you see this much word salad. They're implementing something, but they're just calling it skills, but they're implementing something and they're gonna keep a lot of people in the education system for a long time. And they're going to have times to mold their minds like putty, right? Must be development, improve literacy during and after basic education. During and after basic education, both inside and outside school. Both inside and outside school. It's never enough. Both formal and informal education, etc., etc., etc. So let's go on here. It goes on to 11. Is this one? Oh, that one never got switched over to. So literacy and numeracy, letter skills, calculation basics. Is that what I changed to here? No, that's a little bit different. Okay, so according to the meaning, SEGs is viewed from a perspective of lifelong learning. No, it's the same word salad stuff. Okay, so vocab 12, education for sustainable development, education, So It is learning to empower students to make informed decisions and take actions. Education for development is lifelong learning and is an important part of quality education. Education for sustainable development and is a holistic education. So here they finally get into it a little bit. They tell you that it's all about their sustainable development goals. And to create change, it will talk about content issues and learning outcomes, educational content, teaching methods, social change. Yes, we can never have enough social change, can we? Empower students of all ages, no matter what form of education they are in, to be able to change oneself and the society in which one lives. Yeah, you don't need your culture. We're going to change it, right? Stimulate learning and promote skills and abilities. Competency. Yes, you need to be competent in something. Again, more word salad. They just don't tell you competent in what or anything like that. So systems thinking competency, anticipatory competency, normative competence. What is this stuff? That all this is just word salad that's completely meaningless. Strategic competency. Strategic how? War strategy? Hunting strategy? I mean, what strategy are you talking about? Ability to work with others. Collaboration competency. Newsflash. People can already work together. The human race never would have made it if we couldn't. Sure, we've had lots of wars, but we can clearly work together. Critical thinking, self-awareness, integrated problem. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to push lots of critical thinking. It really sounds that way, right? So moving on to the last thing here. So I said here, this is it. So I said, what are all the continents and countries that are learning cities? Okay, and so for example, there's all these ones in Africa. There's all these ones in the Arab states, and they have little descriptors on them. For example, here in Thailand, it says Hat Yai, Payao, and Sukhothai support community and cultural learning. Rayong focuses on industry because I'm actually very close to Rayong, and this whole area is an industrial hub, and there's a massive complex called Map the Put. It's just a massive industrial complex, and so they're using this one as a smart city where they've already got an industry infrastructure built up, and so they're focusing on industry here. And so they're going to bring in sustainable development and all this kind of stuff, and make sure everyone's educated the way they want, and they've already got the industry foundation here. And so, like, for example, Satun emphasizes environmental education. So Europe and North America. So North America got a little confusing, but it led to this down here. And I said, where is Lowell? And so there's a learning city, only one apparently in the United States. Lowell is located in Massachusetts. It is part of the Merrimack Valley region and is situated along the Merrimack River. And that one joined the network for the first time with Lowell, focusing on immigrant integration and community learning. So it's very, very important to get the immigrants in the United States still, at least from a UNESCO perspective. Does that mean they'll pull it off? Don't know, but it's what they're doing. So that gets us this one done. I just wanted to go over that stuff. I saw that learning city stuff. So it's kind of official now with these learning cities. It's not just something that they're kind of nebulously getting in somewhere. It will eventually be something that they do everywhere. But what they're doing now is they're basically like trying to drive spears into specific or shoot arrows of what they're trying to do into specific places of specific countries. And the name of those spear stabs or arrow strikes or whatever is learning cities. And from there, I'm sure that they can just spread the tentacles out everywhere, and then everything can just be like a learning city, whatever that ends up becoming. I'm sure it's got 15-minute city and all that good stuff written all over it. And so, yeah, that's it. There's only one learning city, Lowell, Massachusetts. That's how it will start there. I've heard other things about Massachusetts being a major place where they're getting the immigration like worked in there. I don't know exactly what's going on, but apparently Massachusetts is a big deal, and that's the reason that its learning city status is for immigration integration. And so maybe more will come out on that later, and we'll all be able to understand what exactly the deal with Massachusetts is. But there we have it. Okay, all right. I'm gonna end it here. Thanks everybody, and I will talk to you